Thank you, the former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Obasanjo. We are today at the International Institute for Strategic Studies in Middle East in Bahrain. And I would like to ask you, Mr. President, how has it been, the conference so far? We are halfway through our first day.
Well, we have had three most exciting sessions so far. If one can put it in summary, what has come out generally is that the opportunities for business in Africa are unsurpassed at this time. Whichever part of Africa you look at, West Africa, Southern Africa, and East Africa, which we are going to look at later. Then we look at what are the forces that have helped the situation, and those forces that are known in the international arena, the emerging economies, the democratic and good governance that had been the mark of Africa since the beginning of this new millennium. The situation in other parts of the world, which makes Africa to be more attractive in terms of investment to other parts of the world. And what blind to the downside, to think that we still have to be done. Infrastructure is still a problem in Africa. It's both a challenge and an opportunity because the lack of adequate infrastructure means that investors in that sector can only get handsome return. We look at other areas. There are still areas where governance have not been as strong as they should be. We look at area of corruption, which means that leaders and governments in Africa have to do more than they have done. And these are the sort of thing that we have been doing in this conference, and it's really very exciting.
As a former president and as the head of your foundation, the Obasanjo Foundation, you must get invited to several conferences. Why did you come to this one? What makes this one special?
Well, for quite some time, I have been close to IISS, International Institute of Strategic Studies. Then, of course, this invitation, which is talking about something very close home to me, the issues of Africa, in Africa, issues of economic, strategic appraisal and situation in Africa. It's an investment in Africa. It's very close to me in the sense that one of the things that I have put the rest of my life to is how to help in encouraging, mobilizing, and appealing for investors to come to Africa. And this is one opportunity to do that. This is what this conference is doing and it's all about. Also, I have, as you have just mentioned, a foundation that is talking about generally human security and employment, food security, alleviation of poverty are all matters of human security. And here we are talking about all that. So that's why I'm here.
Yes.
And my being here has been richly rewarding.
We've heard you speak a little bit during the sessions today, but I wanted to ask you, what key messages do you hope to convey at this conference?
First, and I think I put that across today, Africa is a country, Africa is a continent on the rise. That's the first point. Second point, Africa is not a country. It's a collection of 55 different countries, different sizes, different level of development. But Africa, all the countries have one thing in common. They are all eager and all willing and all open to investment. Thirdly, yes, we must realize that there are challenges. And anybody who wants to come to Africa should know that yes, there are challenges, but those challenges are surmountable, and we should be ready to face the challenges and surmount them. And fourthly, yes, don't let us take anything for granted. And there are success stories. Investment in Africa will give the best return, but we have to get in and get our feet wet to get what that handsome return on investment.
Sure.
And people are invited, people are encouraged, people are wanted to invest in Africa.
So Africa's welcome to
Africa welcome every investor
yes.
to Africa.
We're only halfway through the conference at this stage, but any interesting perspectives that you will take away with you?
I think the first thing I will take away with me is that Africa used to be in the backwaters. Now people are paying attention to Africa. People are looking at Africa. People are not ignoring Africa. Africa is not only on the rise, Africa is on the screen
yes.
of the world.
Yes.
And we must keep it there.
And it's telling that today we're in Bahrain to talk about Africa. I wanted to ask you, is the relationship between the Middle East and Africa something that interests you, that is exciting for you?
Well, it's exciting for me. And of course, there have been investment coming from the Middle East into Africa. There are companies in the ICT, in the telecommunication, even in the infrastructure, and in construction. We have moved from the Middle East into Africa. And all I would say is that the Middle East should also see Africa as the West had seen Africa at one time and still see Africa, as China is seeing Africa now and moving in, as India is seeing Africa and moving in. Middle East should also see Africa in the same way, and should never be afraid. There's a little bit of hesitancy on the part of Middle East, that Africa is open, and there should be no hesitation. Yes. And anybody who wants to come, any of us that they want to help in coming, we are open, and we will make their coming easy. Access to Africa can be direct or through those of us in Africa that know Africa and that want investors to come to Africa.
Indeed. And so an encouraging message for those who want to invest in Africa, who are interested in Africa, both in the region and abroad.
Outside.
Yes. And if I can ask, what's next for you?
For me?
Yes.
Well, the door is open. I will keep on coming to the Middle East and say, come to Africa. And I will be saying to people in Africa, when people, investors from Middle East come, open your door.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us today at the International Institute for Strategic Studies in the Middle East in Bahrain at the Geo-economics Conference on Africa. We've had with us His Excellency President Obasanjo from Nigeria. Thank you.